Well, guys, we got some good news and we got some bad news. The bad news is the guy with the drive shaft called me the other day and asked me some questions about parts before he could order the parts. So the disappointing part about that is I missed a phone call like 3 days before that from him, and he was actually trying to get a hold of me, I guess, and I didn't get it until late one night when I got out of work, and I saw his message and he called me back. But now he's got the parts ordered on the way, so it should be probably another week yet. But he wanted to confirm what exactly I was trying to do. So it was actually the owner of the shop that called me. It was a different employee that was working when I dropped the stuff off, and he just wanted to verify a couple things before he started ordering anything. So he said he actually got in contact with a splicer engineer for what exactly I should be doing. So I'm going with a 4-inch drive shaft, steel drive shaft, and it should be pretty good for some power. So that'll be here in about another week. Hopefully that'll be done maybe sooner than that. But the good news is I got some other parts and we're gonna throw those on today. So you guys will probably be able to figure out what this is pretty quickly once I start to open it up. So this is actually interesting. I usually get stuff on eBay, but I couldn't find anything that I needed on that place. So I ordered this thing from this Duff company or whatever. It's some like off-road frickin' truck website. So I got some parts. It was strange because I don't really know how well this thing is gonna work, so we'll see. It was strange because you order the stuff and then they send you a quote for shipping after you order it. So that was pretty strange. But the shipping only ended up being like $20. So that was pretty cool. You're always kind of taking a risk when you get into that situation. So basically this is a traction bar kit. So traction bar kit for the Ranger. It's got some stuff, some little kind of tiny rods, but they called me and I talked to them on the phone and I told them exactly what I was trying to do with it and approximate power level, and they said it was gonna work for what I want to do. So this is a bar, and these actually go on top of the leaf spring and they bolt to the frame on the top to prevent the axle from wrapping and twisting. So let's get going and we'll throw this thing in there and we'll test how it works someday. So again, here's the parts. Basically bar and everything for one side. This is kind of how it'll be set up. Not gonna have a screwdriver in there, of course, but these are gonna mount onto the top of the leaf spring. This goes forward on the top of the leaf spring and actually bolts right into the leaf spring perch. So you can make it kind of adjustable, adjust your tension, but this thing bolts right into the mounting point for the front of the leaf spring. So kind of an interesting setup. Interested to see how it works. But for $119, I couldn't really complain. Duff Tough, dufftough.com. And no, this is not a paid advertisement because nobody likes me that much. Alrighty, guys. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is pop this wheel off. And I can kind of mock this thing up and show you how it looks. Or at least what I think it's supposed to look like. Well, looks like we have an issue already. Won't be hard to fix that though. So we have this is going to bolt on. This one's actually, this pattern's a little bit wider, so it doesn't really exactly want to go on. So might have to make some changes to that. But this front piece is supposed to bolt on right through here. Something like this. Like this will bolt onto here with this top hole exposed. One of these ways. And then that's how it secures it. So basically that rod will come right through here. That rod will come through here, something like this. and bolt on where I need it and prevent the axle from wrapping. Okay, so I have this temporarily mocked up how it's going to be, or pretty close to how it's going to be. So I'll still have to drill the holes for the front plate in there, but I'm going to put it on the opposite side of that hanger, and I'll run 3 bolts through that thing. That'll be tight, and then this basically just runs back. It will be bolted on just like this. I did go through and look at the instructions and some other pictures, and it just uses the 1 plate. So I think the other plate might be for a Bronco or something like that, but it does just use the 1 plate per side, and this one fits, so that should work. So now I'm gonna go up to this front hanger with this little bracket. I'm just gonna use a marker and hope that I can reach, knock my light down, make it more complicated than it needs to be, and I'm just gonna mark these holes, because I gotta drill these holes out. This should also be a treat trying to drill these holes, but so that's about where they need to go. You can see I have the 3 spots marked. Now I'll just drill them out. Alright, so I got the 3 3/8 inch holes drilled. The plate is tightened down now. There's just a 3/8 bolt and then a nylock nut on the opposite side. So that thing is in there secure. Back plate is in. Now I will throw the bar in. So you have this bar, I have this pre-assembled with the little bushing thingy in there. So I'm just going to pull this all apart. I can get it through the front. We'll take it down to about this level here. So it has that little center piece, the bushing, the washer that goes around the bushing, a lock washer, and then a nut. Ouch. Make sure you pinch your hand as hard as possible so you get a nice little line in there. I'm going to throw the rest of the bushing over. Make sure the lock washer's on, then I'll throw the nut on the opposite side here. There's a big nylock that goes on this side. Get some wrenches for that. This is going to be a 3/4 inch. So that should be tight. Give this other one a little jingle here. On this side, make sure this thing's tight. I feel like I can see it starting to move a little bit, which is probably all the farther I'm going to want to go. tighten the back side. Alright, so that's tight. I did see it kind of pull forward a little bit. So I guess we'll leave it like that and see how it is. Not exactly sure how tight this thing is supposed to be, but that's pretty tight. It shouldn't really have too much travel, I wouldn't think, but... So there you go. Here's the unit fully installed. Tightened down, bolted up in the front. Tighten down there. Ready to rock. Alright, so that side's done. I'm going to get some use out of one of the coolest tools ever. These wheel dollies. Just going to pull the truck over so I can get to the other side. Should have enough room here now. Yeah, I really like these things. Wheel dollies are pretty cool. I don't have the drive shaft in there right now, so now I got some room on this side and we'll get to work. It was kind of interesting when I did the other side. It seemed like the U-joints were the U-bolts were actually a little bit loose, which was kind of odd. So they probably loosened up over time after I lowered it and settled a little bit. So I'm kind of really glad I'm going through and doing this now, because I was able to find that. So it's about 5:44 right now. So I'll show you guys actual time when I'm done. I'm just gonna get to work on this thing and see how long it actually takes per side, just so you have an idea. All right, so it's been about 12 minutes. Got this thing bolted on and the front section marked. So front section is marked, so now I just got to go through and drill the holes. That's probably going to be the longest part, actually, is drilling them holes. Alright, so it's been about a half hour. I did have to stop and charge the drill back up after the second hole. The thing's just old and batteries don't last that long. So I'm going to chuck these in there. And this... yeah, probably not even gonna line up now, I bet. Well, that sucks. First one was perfect. Oh, there we go. That worked okay. So that's pretty decent. It's not actually hitting this bushing. So now I'm going to go ahead and put a wrench on the back side. Tighten this down. I'm going to put a nut on. Jesus Christ. For some reason it works better when you put a nut on there. I don't know why. Haven't been able to figure that one out yet, guys. So this whole thing is kind of, I would say, not really the easiest thing to get to back here. Drilling the holes was kind of a pain. Now let's see if this works. Yep. Those are pretty tight now. And I like it on the back side here. I think the install instructions actually show it being mounted onto the front, but I feel like I like it mounted on the back, because as the axle twists and rotates, it'll be pulling on this from the back side. So it may not matter that much, but that's just how I'm doing it. I think what I'm actually going to do is lift it up like this from the rear diff and see if I can get it to pivot at all, the axle, because this side doesn't have any threads exposed and the other side did. So I think I'm going to loosen the other side and see if I can get this thing to twist. If it doesn't, then I'll just leave it. So I did just decide to go to the front hole, and then I'll leave a little bit more thread on the back side there. So the axle wasn't like turned or anything, it just didn't have enough thread to catch where the other side did. So I'm gonna move this one to the front, I'm gonna go over back to the other side, move the other one to the front, and then it should be done. So time now is 6:28, so it took about 45 minutes to do the whole thing. So hour and a half, 2 hours, you have both sides done. That's it for this one, guys. Should be able to test that thing in about a week. That should be cool. Thanks for watching, have a good one.